this is Naomi at Text My Registry, and today we're talking about the wedding day timeline. Now this is important, and you usually don't deal with this until you get closer to the wedding, of course, but as you're getting closer and you have your vendors, you're going to kind of start making a kind of a tentative timeline so you know exactly when and where everything's going to start happening and all the events are going to be taking place. So you want to make sure that you get everything in, because usually a ceremony and a reception are about 4 to 5 hours, maybe a little more, just depending. And so you want to make sure that you get all of the things that you need to get done in that specific timeline, and then also that you don't waste any time as well, because obviously you're limited on your time, so you want to make sure that you get everything in. So you want to have some kind of tentative timeline to be able to kind of just guide you. Now it's going to change or things will happen, so you don't have to totally go by, but it just, again, is a guideline so you know when dinner is going to be served and when you're going to toss your bouquet, approximately. Just so everyone's going to be different, so everybody's timeline is going to be different depending on what's important to you that day. I mean, from your ceremony, taking photos. Are you going to take photos before? Are you going to take photos after? Are you going to do couples photos before? Are you going to wait and do photos? The moment when you first see each other at the ceremony. I mean, there's so many different events that are going to take place. So they will change. One of the things that I'll just touch on a few little items that I think are important for the timeline, just to give you some ideas. The toasts. Now you want to designate who are going to be doing these toasts, so you know who they are. And then you want to give them a time frame. I mean, you don't want them to be talking for 15 minutes and boring your guests, or maybe they're not boring them, but you don't want to have an hour of speeches. So you want to kind of limit them, give them 1 to 2 minutes to talk. I mean, it's a toast. So give them, a couple minutes, have a few, limit how many people you're going to have toasting, usually about 4 max. The other tip that I would suggest is the cake cutting. I just found that usually when I've gone to weddings, the cake cutting gets done way later, when dancing's starting and people are really just kind of in their own world at this point. So I felt that it was important to do the cake kind of early on. So pretty much an hour and a half after we ate dinner, cake was being cut and served. The other tip, and this just kind of shows you how the timeline can change, was we had set a time for our photos with each other and our photos with our wedding parties prior to the wedding. And we did that because we wanted to make sure that we had as much time spent with our guests, and wanted to limit, once the ceremony got done, that we were just going to do photos really with just each other and family, and kind of, get through that really quickly and save some time by doing our photos for early on. That all changed during the getting ready, and the photographer was there. We ended up had I would say it was a vote that everybody was like, oh my gosh, wait, you're gonna see each other before the wedding. So we canceled that and we didn't see each other. So our time frame was even changed, drastically. So I think it's really important to decide what you as a couple want to do before you, set your timelines and your photo sessions, for sure, because you start to cut out on your photo time if things get changed like this at the last minute. So try to decide as a couple if you want to see each other before, or if you want to see each other, at the first time at the ceremony when you're walking down the aisle, which is, the more traditional way. But a lot of people nowadays are doing them before, and there's a lot of really, a lot of the photographers have a lot of ideas to make it a special moment. And what I've been told too is it's one moment seeing you, there prior to your wedding, and Then there's the other where they actually see you walking down the aisle, and that's just a whole different experience. And, you know, there's no right or wrong. This is Naomi at Text My Registry, and I will see you tomorrow.